If you've tested or are planning to do a DNA test with Ancestry.com, you may be wondering what it would be like if a half-brother or sister popped up in your results. Would the relationship be obvious? What does Ancestry show? Now, I don't have half-siblings who have tested, so a few years ago I asked some acquaintances who do to send me some screenshots of their Ancestry display, and I wrote this article. I'll put a link in the description below, but as you can see, I wrote it a couple of years ago, and since then, Ancestry has made some visual changes to how they present your DNA matches. So I reached out again to some people with half-brothers and sisters who gave me some new screenshots, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Before I get into the half-siblings, I'm going to start with what full siblings look like. In other words, brothers and sisters where you share both parents. Here is the Ancestry display of an acquaintance who has two brothers who have tested on the platform. The first thing I'll draw your attention to is the category up here at the top. Ancestry labels this as full sibling. Underneath this category, this particular tester has two siblings, two brothers in this case. And as you can see, Ancestry does label very clearly a full brother. The next screenshot is a full sister. So this is very clear and obvious. You may be thinking that you will also see some category called half-sibling and a label of half-brother or half-sister, but that's not what happens. In the next picture, this tester knows that the DNA match I'm going to show you is a half-sibling. But what Ancestry shows, with this particular half-brother in this case, they show a category of close family, and within that category, this DNA match, who is a half-brother of the tester, the display is close family to first cousin. In other words, Ancestry are telling you that this particular match falls within close family out to a bit more distant first cousin. Why don't they just say half-sibling here, or half-brother? Well, I spell out the reasons in detail in the article. Just jump to that section. And the reason is that the amount of DNA that you share with a half-sibling falls within the same range as some other relationships. That includes an aunt or uncle, niece or nephew, or grandparent or grandchild. Ancestry knows how much CM you share, but it doesn't know the genealogical relationship. Ancestry states that we typically share 1,450 to 2,050 centimorgans with half-siblings. The problem is that there is overlap for the ranges for aunts, uncles, niece, nephew, grandparent, grandchild. I previously showed you a tester's half-brother. Here is the display of another tester's half-sister. Ancestry puts the individual under the close family category and displays close family to first cousin. The next slide is another match within the close family category, again showing close family to first cousin as the labeled relationship, but in this case the tester has told me that this is their nephew. But as you can see, there's no difference between, in terms of the label and the category, between a nephew and a half-sister. That's what can get confusing. So now you may be wondering, how are you supposed to figure out whether this match is a nephew, uncle, or half-brother? I've got a few tips in the article. One of the things that I point out from the start is you may see the person's age range if they've set that up in their Ancestry profile. You can probably rule in or out a grandparent or grandchild relationship once you have an idea of the age range, but you can't distinguish between a half-sibling and an uncle-nephew using age. Remember that an unknown aunt, uncle, or nephew, niece could be the same age as you. I've got a few tips on using shared matches to figure out whether this potential half-sibling is on your paternal or maternal side. That could help in your detective work. I'll also put a link in the description below to this article on searching for family members through Ancestry DNA. In particular, tips on reviewing the user profile and what you can glean from this, and some other tips on doing a little bit of detective work on your Ancestry matches. Remember that a lot of people who are coming in new to Ancestry may not understand centimorgans or shared DNA or the connotations, and if they are indeed a half sibling of yours and they're seeing you turn up as close family to first cousin, they may shrug their shoulders and assume, well, it must be a first cousin that they don't know. Keep that in mind if preparing to send a message through the Ancestry system to this person. Hope that helps. I'm Margaret O'Brien of dataminingdna.com, and best of luck with your family research.